Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Last Days of Europe with me, Alpha Omega, and Spears, Germany. So today we are going to continue with Fall Grau. What is Fall Grau, you ask? Well, Fall Grau is the current operation that we are undergoing. With the chaos slowly settling down, I had a bit of a time to sit down and think of the proper action. And as was mentioned in the previous episode, we have two objectives. First, one is eliminating Heydrich's Germany in the south of our territory, which is going great. And the second one was a breach into the north and eliminating part of Göring's forces in the north, forcing them towards Denmark and then destroying them. So Fall Grau is exactly this. You will, or some of you probably noticed that I put it in the name of the previous episode as well, which is intentional. I didn't have this formulated in my head yet, but I think that after the initial operation was started, that would be a good case for creating an actual battle plan. So today we are going to continue with the destruction of Heydrich's army, and then we are going to move our units to the north and launch an attack here towards Rostock and then back towards Kiel. Before we actually unpause the game, though, I wanted to address some of the comments that you guys made. First of all, to whomever, and I forgot who it was mentioned in the comments that I forgot to research nuclear energy technology. I missed that completely. Good eye on the subscriber. And this one gives us a nuclear reactor resource output of +2 in energy and construction speed of +5. So that's not a bad technology. We don't need it at this point. I think we do have enough energy. Yeah, the grid power is 212, so we are fine. But still, it's a good point that we should get it out of the way, especially because this is a 1955 technology. We still have other things, though, to get. For example, the early industrial robotics seems much more important. Same with some of these military buildings, administrative buildings, social buildings construction, the industrial management, and so on. So we'll go through that. Another thing that you guys mentioned, and it was actually mentioned more than once, was that we should unhide the influence, opportunities, and actions. Thank you for that, because I actually had no idea that was there. I didn't. I thought that it was, just unhidden already, and that we would get them. But instead, it opened a variety of options for us, which are some of them, very good. So, what it told me is that we can get extra influence if we capture Danzig, Kiel, München, Wien, and Leipzig. None of these is in this area, but Kiel is up here. And, well, Danzig is quite far away, but we'll probably be able to take Kiel. And then there's München, Wien. So München is down here. Vienna. Wait, here's München, here's Salzburg. That means, oh yeah, it's here. I was thinking where is it, but it was actually hidden behind the Sankt Polen. So Wien is here, and what was that? München, Wien, Leipzig. Leipzig actually. That's a good question. Isn't Leipzig somewhere in the north? Oh yeah, it is here. Okay, Leipzig. Gotcha. And if we get those, we get extra influence. And when we convert legitimacy into influence, we can actually use it for a various of really interesting options here. We can sabotage front lines, which give the enemy planning speed and max planning penalty. There's also the supply lines, which increase attrition and supply consumption, and there's an uprising. I actually don't think the uprising is good, because it just raises some militia units, and I don't think that has much much interested. They would be encircled and eliminated immediately. But disrupting supply lines actually seems like a worthy effort, because increasing attrition and supply consumption can slow down enemies significantly. So I think we're going to use it before we actually attack Göring's Germany here, and hope to help ourselves in encircling and destroying the enemy here. Though, I don't know, I think Germany is supplied pretty well. It's going to be hard to take advantage of it. Well, none of these options are actually really great, but the supply line seems like the best option for us. So those are the two things that I wanted to mention. And the next one was actually, we need to start converting some of these units. We still have the Bürgerwehr here, and we need to get rid of them. There is unfortunately not much I can do, as we do not have enough equipment. If we try to change them to pretty much anything, it will always require anti-tank equipment. Now, we are producing anti-tank equipment at a nice rate, but still very slow. And it's gonna get better, but I don't know if we have enough time to wait for it. I'm considering whether or not to throw more factories at it immediately. It kinda sucks, but I don't really know what else to do. I think we might just have to wait it out, though. It would be possible, I think, to create an extra... What if I remove this? Anti-tank equipment... Well... That lowers the requirements, but it doesn't really help them. But we can still change them. That's the thing. We can still change them, and they are going to be better than they are. They will just significantly miss the... Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's change them to the operations group. We're gonna see how strong they are. At this point, they have soft attack 189, defense 495. So let's change them and see what kind of equipment they're gonna get. Oh, they're green now. Dang it! We'll have to put them back somewhere. I could probably send some of these units and pull these guys back and have them trained. Well, we'll see. Anyway, another thing that you guys wanted me to go through was the options here. Now, I'm aware that there is a bunch of things here that are really good. So let's go through it right now to, make some kind of plan. I know that I mentioned the short-term plan is getting the Volkskamp, and then going with the friends in the Reich, comrades from Europe, and maybe our allies abroad. I don't know what that one does, but comrades from Europe is a good idea, because I think that we can get some support from our allies, and then we need to get... Oh, actually, this one gives 1,000 anti-tank equipment. I haven't realized that there is that. So no, we're gonna go with the Volkskamp, then the Franks in Reich. And this one, dang it. Well, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the most important ones, because that gives us extra units, extra help, whatever that may be. I don't know if it says here. No, reformist requests help. So we'll just see what it brings to us. And then this one gives us rifles, support equipment, and this one gives more support. So it's a question. Then these fix it up. They give a bonus to production efficiency and repair speed, make it work, decreases industrial regulation and industrial... Okay. That would probably make things cheaper, and then we get a bonus to economy. More industry. Production efficiency cap lowered, but factory output increased. Replaces 14-hour workday with unlimited workday. Jesus, and not smarter. Which gives additional production efficiency cap and factory output, but lowers research speed. And what does this one do? An elite infantry division will become available. So let's hit another unit. So it would probably make sense to go through these 6. Then get the fix it up, because that's a flat out bonus. Actually, that one gives efficiency growth plus... Well, 5% isn't all that much. But still, we're going to go through these 6. Then maybe fix it up. Then continue down towards the International Condor Battalion. Ah, that's a nice reference to the Spanish Civil War. And then what's here? All brave sons of liberty. Recruitable population is increased. That's not great because it lowers everything else. Organization, recovery rate, and war support. The Daughters of Germania. Women in workplace. Factory, dockyard, and taxable population increased. Monthly population lowered. I don't like that it gives you so many malices for the bit of a... Yeah, we're not that hard pressed for population. I'm hoping that we won't really need this. And get all of them a gun. Now, broaden cons... Yeah, so these are just increases in war economy. Dissidents no more. The dissidents may take up arms to fight for us. Criminals no more. They have a political power gain, but we get attack and lower defense. Slaves no more. And promise amnesty. Gives us extra manpower. Yeah, I really think that this is the most important part for us at this point. And then fix it up, and then we'll see if we can go through these. But the rest of it is... I mean, we're gonna get it, but... those heavily shift our situation, and we don't really need more manpower, for example, at this point. So we'll see how it's gonna go. Anyway, decisions available. I'm gonna get rid of this one, because that one is confusing me, and these ones too. And we'll see if we will be able to get anything. Okay, with that said, we are going to continue here with the attack. And the West Siberian People's Republic declared war on the Siberian Black League. Is this the Siberian Black League? No. Is there another Black League? Divine Mandate of Siberia. No, it had to be this one. No, there's another Black League here. Yeah, okay, so this one is this... Jesus, this is confusing. We have a lot of wars going on right now in Russia. This is insane. Like, you can see how many there are. These are ours, but this is the one. So that's actually pretty crazy. Well, what I'm expecting, I mean, I have no idea what's gonna happen, but the way the game is heading, I think that Russia will reunite and try to invade us and defeat us. So by the time we need to be ready. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're gonna see. Okay, so at this point we need to continue with the push. Our units have expanded nicely. We need to keep the border with... this is Bormann's Germany, okay. Secure. Because that will severely affect us if we get into a position where the enemy will be able to attack us. Oh, and here's the English Civil War, the one that we had last time, but we didn't get any information on. Today, shots have rang out across England that herald something far worse than the London uprising in the 50s. For the second time in history, England is in state of civil war. Her Majesty must wear resistance, an organization containing the full spectrum of English political outsiders, from communists to a handful or more independently minded fascists, have declared a revolt against the collaborationist government of Prime Minister Alec Douglas Home. Speaking from HMMLR's headquarters, its leader, former General Claude Ochinlek, Ochinlek, that's a weird name, alongside former communist rebel Bill Alexander and resistance fighter David Sterling, have declared that England will be a free nation or they will die trying. So this is the kingdom of... So these are the revolutionists, and these are the government people. So the government people have... they're actually fairly equal in units. Even in... Wow, that's going to be a massive issue. They're really really equal in arms. You don't see that very much. And yeah, we have... Wait, who is this? Military Verwaltung der British... Oh, we have a puppet here. I didn't even know that. Dang, okay, well, hopefully... Then we really need to get our stuff in order, because the longer we take to do this stuff, the bigger issue it's gonna be later on. So let's just push here mercilessly, and the enemy units are still done. So the Belarusian Central Council declared war on the United Partisan Organization. And it's going, yeah, Latland, Ostland, those are, they're gone. Okay, you can actually support this attack. Okay, there's where are you guys? Are you here? Or are you here? Karol Donets launches coup in Crimea. Come on. Come on. Government der Krim. Karol Donets. With the Reich tumbling headlong into chaos, the silence of Crimea has grown increasingly deafening. The home of Germany's Black Sea Fleet, and with enough naval infrastructure to construct a small steel island, the bustling port has seen a huge amount of attention, with rumors of daily arrivals of gifts flooding from Governor's stately home on Greithungistrasse. However, despite the constant flow of gifts into Theodorichshafen, barely any information has come back out. That is until early this morning, as a frenzy of communiques filled the airways. Famous naval hero Karol Donets took to the radio around 7 a.m. to denounce the turncoats who, in Germany's darkest hour, dared to strip her of the liberties she had enjoyed since her birth. No doubt a reference to Hans Speilo's disregard for the sanctity of the Reichstag. As he spoke, Marines in plain clothes took up key positions around the city and dockyards. By noon, the civilian governor had resigned. I thought I had been resigned, but, well, both are options. Citing personal disagreements in a brief and likely coerced resignation. And so he had been resigned. Claiming he'd wished to stay neutral in the conflict, Donets lamented that the intrigues in Germania had finally pushed him into the only faction he felt to be true, the legal government of Germany, the conservatives of Martin Bormann. Oh. No doubt surprised at this victory as their rivals are crestfallen, several key Bormannite commanders have publicly accepted Donets' support, claiming that only a war hero as true as and pure as Karol Donets could have seen through the thick smoke of our degenerate propaganda and into the inconvertible will of Adolf Hitler. This is a devastating blow to our cause. The frictions in the Navy had already begun, and most worryingly, there are fears that the undecided naval commanders we've spent the last few weeks wooing may now rally to Donets and by extension Bormann's banner. But they're not... They don't seem to be with them yet. Maybe that's gonna change, but... Prime Minister Leimena takes up the mantle. With the opposition to his policy steadily growing, yet with no intention of backing down on his plans, Sukarno has announced the appointment of Johannes Leimena, popularly known as Om Yo, to the position of Indonesia's Prime Minister. Having worked as a foreign minister under the late Prime Minister Juanda, Leimena has met with positive approval by most within the political sphere of the country. Yet many question whether the new Prime Minister will manage to carve out his vision of a stable, prosperous Indonesia amidst the growing factionalism that currently plague the nation. Perhaps only time will tell if the seasoned administrator may be able to bind together a people so divided by their leaders' aggressive policies. Let it be fracture mirror and mate to pick the pieces. Okay, now let's see. No, I want you to go here, and I want you to support this. Yeah. Yeah, his forces are dying here. How much are we spending on occupation? Antiques Germany. Resistance 2. What do we have here? Local police force. Civilian oversight would be better, but secret police, military government, martial law. Use default. Well, we're gonna keep it as default, but you know what I could do? Do we have an agent? I don't think we do, huh? We don't have the agency, right? Oh, we're forming it. Okay, so then we're gonna get an agent, and I'm gonna put him here to actually do something with the resistance here. Hopefully, it's gonna get better. Okay, so with these guys going there, we can strike here. Hidden heroes. Oh, okay. So the Union of South Africa declared war on the Boer Republic. What the hell is going on in the world? Everyone has just gone crazy now. England, filled with so much strife and confusion, has once again entered international news today. But this is not news of a bombing or repression by the garrison, as has become normal, but one of art. Across the streets of London, several spray paintings have been spotted. While at first these pieces aroused little notice, the spray paint reached the papers when the artist, identity unknown, managed to spray paint one of their pieces on the front doors of Parliament. Though provoking and well drawn, the art has lit popular imagination, and pictures of various pieces attributed to the artist, known by the moniker of Softboy, has spread across the world. Little is known about the artist, only that they are possibly connected to the British socialist movement, but nobody can seem to stop talking about what the art really means. Okay, well, we must admit, it's very thought-provoking. So what are you guys... Oh yeah, they're way better. They're way better than they was, even without the equipment. So I really need to... I mean, I could reassign you. You are safe. And one of you guys, I think. Okay, that's yet another militia. Okay, well, let's change you to the template as well. Because I need you guys in here. Yeah. So let me assign you to this unit. And the 1st Infantry Division to this unit as well. And you guys are gonna move to Hamburg. Go. And once they arrive, we're gonna pull back these guys, train them, and then rotate them and train these guys. Hopefully no one is gonna jump us at this point. I mean, we're risking quite a lot. Airbanks with no missions? What? No missions or regions. You have a mission. What? Waiting for... Wait, you... Wait, what? You didn't have the attack? That's weird. I was pretty sure that I assigned it. Oh, never mind then. I don't think there's any enemy air force either way. Yeah, so... no loss for us either. Okay, you can actually support here. Can support here. Yeah, we're closing down on them, so this part of Falgrau is going to be done soon, at which point I can just station some units here and reinforce this area for a possibility of an offensive. The South African War Violence erupted across South Africa today as the Boer Republic, angered at what they have perceived as endless attacks on themselves by the South African government, formally declared its independence from the Republic of South Africa. Oh God. Accompanying the declaration, Boer militias carrying mostly German armaments have calm down, game. Have spread out across the Orange Free State and numerous other parts of northwestern South Africa, coming into armed conflict with the South African soldiers stationed in the area. As the conflict continues to escalate, it is currently unknown what exactly the German response will be, yet as observers report increasing militarization of the South African border by the newly formed Africa Shield, many consider the German response to be self-evident. Oh, I love this song. No one starts a war, or rather, no one in his sense ought to do so without first being clear in his mind what he intends to achieve by that war and how he intends to conduct it. Karl von Clausewitz, Domino style. So are you at war with them? You are not. It's just a Boer... Oh God! Oh hell, it's mostly volunteers and partisans, but this is another very even conflict, which is going to be very bloody. Formation of Africa Shield. With Germany still consumed by the chaos of civil war and many of its territories becoming plagued with conflicts of their own, German Africa has today announced its intention to weather this terrible storm. Whilst the free German African colonies have previously only enacted cordial yet basic relations with each other, a joint declaration from Siegfried Müller, Wolfgang Schenk, and Hans Hüttig has announced the creation of Africa Shield, official and alliance only defensive in purpose in order to ensure stability within the colonies. Many international observers have expressed concern about what the alliance's true intention in Africa may be. Whilst the OFN has condemned the immoral colonial alliance, many within the German sphere have praised Müller in particular for his dedication to protecting German interest and personnel across the continent. So are you part of the... Yeah, okay. So Südwest Africa, Ost Africa, and Central Africa have created an alliance. Okay, well, it's not... I mean, as long as we keep controlling this territory, whatever the territory may be, it's fine. Because I think that once Germany reunifies, we might reintegrate these areas into whatever nation we'll have at that point. The Belarusian Central Council declared war on the Vereinigte Ostlandliga. The United East. Okay. What is the Vereinigte Ostliga? Rechtsgenossen Moscovian. There has to be Heinrich's Germany. Oh, Heinrich is losing here as well. Well, good. As long as Göring is fighting Heinrich here, it will allow us to attack and steal some of his territory. We'll have to move quick, though. Where is the United... Ah, here it is. Vereinigte Ostlandliga. Oligarchy. What the... Jesus Christ, look at that. Everybody is fighting everyone. That's insane. This area is a mess. Oh, you know, this general area, speaking, truthfully, is also a mess. But, my God, what have we done? Well, you stay here. We don't really want you to go anywhere. Just take Strasbourg. You guys need to wait for reinforcements, and then we're gonna push here as well. Come on, get in there. I'm kind of surprised how weak Heydrich's forces are, to be quite honest. Okay, the fight is happening. Did we move the forces already? Yes, we did. Okay. So you know what? I actually think I can keep you guys here and have you drill in here. Because while you are going to be very weak against an attack, you still will provide some form of resistance in case anything happens. Yeah. Oh wait, infantry equipment. Are we... Oh god, we're short. Yeah. We need to start producing... Jesus, no. We really need to finish the Volkskamp and then move this way. The arms are going to be way more important. And we need to do something with our production. Jesus Christ, the efficiency is just abysmal. Okay, can you support this? We can. I think that once we eliminate them, we should be able to steal a ton of equipment here. So we'll see how that is going to affect us. But for now... Ah, Strasbourg captured. Strasbourg, the nervous center of the Reinhardt-Heydrich... Wait, okay, Reinhardt-Heydrich military. So I can... Oh, this gives us stability, political power, and legitimacy. So I'm going to convert a bit to influence here. Nice. Extra stability, extra war support. Okay, that's good. Strasbourg, the nervous center of Reinhardt-Heydrich's military operation, has finally been overrun. The resulting battle has left the city burned and ruined. Not much remains of it. The SS had fortified the riverbanks and city heavily. Only after hours of continuous bombardment and armored assaults were the SS finally pushed back and makeshift bridges able to be set up. The city itself was nearly impossible to crack. The attackers closely hugged the sides of the streets as German civilians, forced to drive vehicles loaded with bombs, sped down the wide avenues towards the advancing men. As more of Strasbourg fell, entire blocks would burst into flames, having been wired to explode. Suicidal SS attacks would almost always hit formations hit by these massive explosions, in either an act of mercy or afraid that straggling citizens may interfere with their plans. Most of the city's population was allowed to leave before the fighting. Leniency on the attackers' behalf may have backfired, as SS soldiers managed to infiltrate with the refugees and now attack their enemies' backlines. Worse yet, it looks as if Heydrich has managed to escape along with most of the general staff. What was meant to be a quick, decisive victory has turned out to be a titanic struggle, with sporadic fighting still breaking out. Hey, but we still did the right thing here. And very high legitimacy. What is capture Wien? It tells me that I can take it. Oh, that activates a mission. Okay. Well, we can activate a mission to capture Kiel. We have 50 days for that. Okay. I should have probably waited a bit, but... I mean, by that time we ought to have it either way. General Bezirk Letland declared on the Belarusian Central Council. More insane fighting in the area of Baltics. How beautiful that is. How beautiful that is. Okay, so what are we doing here? If we're demolishing the enemies, and once we get in here, we're gonna launch the attack and then circle the enemy and destroy them in Mühlhausen and be done with it. Which is good. Hottest place in hell. Intelligence spread throughout the Reich indicates that Verkreis 19, corresponding to the region of Böhmen and Mähren, along with Chief Administrator Schwerin von Krosigk, has undergone a fortified approach. Thousands of men formerly loyal to the Wehrmacht and the Reich have redirected their allegiance towards the formation of cities across Moravia, with each council unanimously probing in favor of sovereignty. The aids promised in the form of equipment and helping hands have not arrived, and devout supporters of the rightful successor remains unheard from. Local authorities across the Protectorate began by declaring their allegiance towards foremost protection of the Reich's citizenries with their constraints before issuing revived documentation and recoding insignia. Mountaineers units stationed around the Sudets refused to permit any soldier fighting the Bürgerkrieg within the Protectorate, stopping the action right around the gates. So, Republic of Ukraine declared war on the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. Okay. Ukrainian state. Reichskommissariat Ukraine. Okay. So, Reichskommissariat Ukraine is falling apart. We'll check that later. Okay, so no soldiers fighting in the Bürgerkrieg can get within the Protectorate or do anything there. It can be assumed that the Bohemians, so you mean Czechs, it can be assumed that the Bohemians believe that by sheltering themselves from disorganized militias slogging through the streets of Germany proper, they too can refuse the will of the leader, the creed of our belief and the power of our armed forces. For this they are sorely mistaken. Be it as it may, Verkreis 19 remains out of our reach at the moment, for better or worse. So are you at war with someone, or what is going on? No, you're just there. It's gonna be a mess to unify everything here. Okay, so as our units are being attacked, they just keep causing themselves more casualties. And once we break this, we are going to counterattack and eliminate them in Mühlhausen. And that's where we're gonna call this episode done. Okay, now launch the attack. And it's an encirclement destruction. Hopefully we'll be able to get some equipment out of it. 82... Well, we'll see. We're making, what, about 11 per day. Oh god, the end of Reichskommissariat Norwegen. With the German Reich quickly becoming ever more consumed by chaos and warfare, the Nazi collapse has today claimed the next victim. Speaking before the Storting this morning, Norwegian Minister President Gulbrand Dunde announced that his newly empowered government had been informed by the immediate resignation of Reichskommissar Josef Terboven and the dissolution of the Norwegian garrison, effectively marking the end of the German occupation of Norway. Yet, whilst many across the Reich attempt to escape from the war zone, it has been reported that Terboven has instead flown back into Germany, along with a steady stream of Norwegian soldiers returning home to fight for their preferred side. Whilst the details behind these developments are largely unknown, one thing is for certain: Norway is now a free nation once more. The fatherhood abandons their great fortress. Okay, how many are left here? Just a bunch. What happened here? Reichskommissariat, one of them is at war with someone. West Africa. Okay. Declared war on Union of South Africa. What kind of army do you have? Not a bad one. Not a bad one. Okay, so we eliminated quite a few units here already. Fuel is an issue. Fuel is an actual big issue. And by the way, how's France doing against Burgenland? Or Burgund, not Burgenland. Well, not great, as was expected. Africa Shield intervenes in South Africa. As the Boer rebellion rages on, international journalists on the ground are reporting that German colonial panzer divisions have now begun to pour across the South African border in a rapid escalation of the conflict. Forces of the newly formed Africa Shield have already won several key victories, forcing already stretched South African soldiers into retreating south in disarray. With the OFN having expressed support to the South African regime for almost a decade, the feeling on the ground was captured by quickly spreading footage of a battle-bloody South African soldier, part of the convoy of soldiers retreating to Port Noilhof, who asked the cameras the question that many have been asking: where the fuck are the Yankees? Through chaos. Anyway, we have eliminated the forces here, and we are no longer bordering Heydrich's Germany. So I think because Göring is now fighting with Heydrich near Königsberg, we should, in the next episode, finish quickly the Fahlgrau and push through Schwerin and cut off these guys and take this territory, which will eventually provide us, hopefully, with enough things to do. We haven't even gotten through a single month yet. So let's just see in the logistics. Yes, we've gotten quite a nice amount of weapons, 851. That's going to go a long way. And even the anti-tank equipment has been pretty generous to us in the elimination. Cool. So that helped. That certainly helped. And in the next episode, we are going to launch the second phase of Fahlgrau and attack Schwerin. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.